Hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is The Art of Politics, and I feel so bad for the Republicans. Oh, poor Republicans. Now, this show is being taped, and tonight, this very night, Romney is, making his speech. But last night, you had probably one of the biggest liars stand up and make a speech and said, guess what? I want to be a vice president. But before we get into that, let me just say that last week we missed Dave, but Dave is back, and he's just hi, Dave. How are you?
Ken, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. I'm glad to see you're looking in fine fettle.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Isn't that a nice word, fettle?
No. What you don't notice is I don't have a mustache.
I did notice. No, I didn't notice that.
I got to tell you something.
What happened?
Well, now, I have a scar on my face, as you can see.
I do.
If everybody's up there,
yeah.
see? All right, I have a scar on my face. I've had it my whole life, 12 years old. So it's bothered me. It's just bothered me. When I got older, I grew a mustache.
Yep.
Okay? But when I got older, the mustache turned white.
Yep.
And everybody said, oh, you got a scar. So I'm going, I can't do this. I don't want to go through this from 12 to 25 that you got a scar. Now everybody's noticing I have a scar. So I go down and I buy this stuff to darken up your mustache.
Yep.
Okay, I said, well, why not? I don't want people looking at me. I mean, I'm not let's face it, I do have a face for radio. I understand that. So I'm not a handsome guy, but the mustache, all right, so I go down and I get some stuff to put on my mustache to darken it up so nobody will notice I got a scar.
Right.
Well, I didn't read the directions. And I went to bed.
Okay.
And I woke up the next morning and I looked like Groucho Marx. I swear. Right? All right. Now, I mean, I'm talking black like this.
And the reason for that is?
Well, it's dye. And the only thing you're supposed to hit is you're only supposed to hit the hair.
You're not supposed to put it on your skin?
No. Well, what happened was I pushed too hard. It was on the. So now I said I got to shave it. So I shaved it off, and for 2 days I couldn't get the dye out from my face. It was dyed.
I bet you looked like a deranged Hitler with that thing.
No, let's stay away from Hitler. But anyway,
all right.
So now I got to tell you, I swear this is true. I have an electric razor, which worked well for a long time, so I decided to buy a new electric razor. I haven't only had one in my life, and it was okay, but I wanted to get a good one. $159, right, online. I'm telling you. It was very hard for them to get the last number of my credit card number. I really didn't want to spend that much money.
Why did you want to spend $160 plus shipping?
Because it's a wet... one of those wet things you can shave and so I get it, right? Now I've just shaved this off.
Yeah.
So now I get this thing and I turn it on. It's like 1,400 vibrations per minute because it goes like that.
Ooh, this sounds like fun already.
Oh yeah. So I go down and I don't put anything on my face and I go, geez, I can't believe this. I'm doing my face. I did it about 3 times in one day with nothing on my face, right? Yeah. Well, guess what? Look at my side of my face.
Ooh.
It was like I had a burn on my face. So there I am, no mustache or a black mark with a red face.
You were absolutely right about one thing.
What's that?
You've got a good face for radio.
That's right. I do. But anyway, look who I've got to work with.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think that's one. Hey, listen, what's that round blue thing on your jacket? What is that?
That's right. That's right. It looks like it's something like this. You see this? This is my signs. I want everybody to see my signs.
Beautiful.
All right, there we go. These are round signs, and I thought they were different, and I thought they were very livable and livable and whatever. And what do you think?
I think they're gorgeous. They have the Union bug on it, and
Absolutely.
it has Lee Garrett, who
fiscal agent.
She's some kind of relation to you?
Yes, Lee Garrett happens to be my wife.
Oh, okay. She's the fiscal agent.
That's right. She's kept her name.
Yeah. Well, good for her.
And I'll tell you what.
She knows better than most. Then
I'll tell you what. After what I've gone through my lifetime with this, I swear to God, I'd still marry Lee if I knew what I've gone through with a Gidge and a GG, right? Okay. What happens was, I'll go to pick my son up at school, and they'll say, "What is your name?" I'll say, "My name is Gidge." "Well, Lee Garrett, it's her son." I says, "Yes, my wife has always used her name." "Well, we have to check and call on this." And I'm going, "Excuse me?" People call up, ask, is Mr. Garrett there?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like that.
Well, I can understand that for somebody with a fragile ego, it really.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to say about lying. Remember we talked about lying.
Lying, yes.
Yeah, we said that I said from now on, if a person lies, I'm going to call him a liar.
Oh, who's been lying to you?
All right. Well, do you remember that?
I do, vaguely.
Oh, all right. Well, I said if a person lies, I'm not going to, well, we sort of like stretch the
You're
truth.
not going to pussyfoot.
I'm not going to pussyfoot.
All right, so go ahead. Go for it.
I'd never say pussyfoot.
All right. Why not?
That's a word, words I'd never use.
Is it not politically correct?
I don't know, and I don't care.
All right, there we go.
All right, okay.
So go, what's the story?
Okay, so last night, I decided I'm going to watch Paul Ryan, and he's going to stand up, and he's going to be good. Of course, he's a hypocrite, but so he goes on, and he criticizes the president for losing or breaking down or stealing money from Medicare, which is not true, but I let that pass. Then he goes on to say, Obama said when he becomes president, no car manufacturing will stop. In other words, they will continue. And where I live, as soon as he's president, the assembly line closes down. Everybody goes, boo. Now, you can't trust him, he goes. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, excuse me, that closed down with Bush. And Obama had nothing to do with it. And I said to myself, you can't stand up there being a vice presidential, and it is a candidate, and lie. How can anyone as a Republican put up with that? Even people on Fox News said, well, we think he made a little mistake there, all right? He outright lied. How could they not know? After all, he went into, this is where I lived. I lived on the same street I grew up on, and I played in the woods. And all right, how could he not know that that was closed under the Bush administration? And he blamed it on Obama, a liar. How can you start off having a vice president and a president, and one of them we know is an absolute, unequivocal liar? How can you put up with this, David?
You raise a good point. I'm thinking back to situations in the past, and I seem to recall not just a vice presidential candidate, but a vice president swearing up and down that he invented the internet.
You know what's really good about Republicans? They're so easy to get. If all you have to do is catch one of them in a lie, and the first thing that they do is turn around and say, well, you remember this person lied. A lie is a lie is a lie. A person lies, he's a liar. This man is running to be the vice president of the United States, and he lied. Okay?
I think you should call him.
Absolutely
I think you should
lied.
call him on that. I think you should call
Everyone
him
else has. Well, what do you, as a Republican, is he a liar?
I don't know when the plant closed.
Well, I'm telling you.
Well, I'm saying that's fine, but I'm not going to call somebody. I'm not going to call somebody a liar on the air just because
that you don't know.
That
you don't have the facts.
I don't know, because I don't have the facts.
All right. Okay. Now, let's do it this way.
Okay.
Because you've been fairly good. If the
Does that mean I can get my dessert?
All right. Yeah. If the plant closed under the Bush administration, okay. And he said last night, you heard the speech?
No, I didn't.
Okay. If the plant closed in the Bush administration and he blamed it on Obama, who wasn't even president of the United States, If this is true, is this man a liar? Does it? You have to think about this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
You have to think about it.
And you know why?
No, I can't. No, I cannot believe you have a good excuse for it.
All right.
Why?
Let's say the plant closed in December of 2000. I'm sorry, 2008.
Stop.
When did the plant close?
During the Bush administration.
That's still the Bush administration.
He claimed.
Yeah, it is 2000.
No, hold on a second. Wait a minute.
December of 2008.
As soon as Obama came in, the plant was closed. It was closed during the Bush administration.
So that if the plant closed in December 2008, Obama would have been elected, and people would have seen him coming, and they would have known.
I'll tell you what. I've talked a lot about Republicans, and I like you, Dave. But
that could be the kiss of death for my campaign.
Your reason is the way you're going about this as a reason. You can't say yes or no. You can't vote up or down. You can't do that. Question: if he lied, is he a liar? That's a better way of putting it.
He lied. If he lied, he lied.
Is he a liar?
If you lie, are you a liar?
No, excuse me.
No, it's a legitimate question.
No.
If you lie, are you a liar? If you lie once, are you a liar?
What the Republicans do, they don't answer the question.
Kenny, are you a liar?
If he lied,
Kenny,
is he a liar?
Are you a liar?
I will
If you lie, are you a liar?
Look, see, this is
No, it's
typical.
just a simple question.
He can't
if
answer,
you lie, are you a liar?
He can't answer if the man lied, he's a liar. This is one of the reasons why you guys got a lot of problems. But not with David. David's a good guy.
Oh,
He's
that's
just trying to be a Republican. The guy lied, and he can't admit that he lied. And that's going to be the end of the Republicans.
Well, you know what, Ken, I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you. You've been very good to me. You've taken me under your wing.
I'm in for some trouble now.
And I would like to take this opportunity, and I would like to give you a little something as a statement of my esteem.
Oh, okay.
And my affection.
Your esteem?
My esteem and my affection.
Okay. I will take that. Go ahead.
So here, this is for you.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you want me to open it right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I have one here. And
Richard
has one.
Are you ready?
Yep.
The Art of Politics.
Right, and look, and whose name is it?
Ken Gidge.
Representative Ken Gidge. And
Wow.
Representative Dave Robbins.
All right, okay, here.
And
here.
now
that's wonderful.
Now you see the little logo here? I mean the same logo on the front that you.
What is the logo?
The logo is, well, I just want you to know, every time you take a little sip, what's going to happen is you're going to be looking at my logo.
Your advertisement?
Yes.
Your advertisement.
My advertisement.
For Ward 9.
For Ward 9.
I knew it. I couldn't get away with it.
No, of course not.
But I've got something for you.
You do?
Yes,
what do you
I
got?
do.
I got a present?
This is the invisibility cloak, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, the invisibility cloak.
And if we don't want to see him anymore, woo! He's gone.
Ooh.
How's that? Huh? Now look at this. See that?
Hello, how are you?
Invisibility cloak.
Wow, that's, you know what?
How's that?
You probably should have been using that when you used the razor.
Yeah, I know. I've had a rough time with my face.
No pun intended. Let me, the signs. I want to point something out. I think those are beautiful signs. Can you hold them up? Hold them up for a second. No, hold it up so people can see it.
Okay.
There. Okay. Now, do you remember?
I hope Gidge is spelled properly.
Let's see. Grudge. No. You remember David Hasselhoff?
Yes.
He's the guy who does used to do Baywatch, and he's now.
I know who he is.
All of the ads for coffee, iced coffee.
Yes.
You know what's great signs? You know what's happening with his signs? They're being stolen.
Stolen? Why?
Yes, because they're interesting, they're unique, and it's sort of a cult thing. My only thought is, watch out. People may like those so much.
But you know what I'm going to do? We've already planned this.
What?
We're going to set some signs up. We're setting up cameras.
Really?
Because we know people are going to steal them.
Really?
And if a Republican steals it, they're in trouble.
What about a Democrat?
No, they're in trouble. So we are going to put cameras up there. But let's get back to this because, Dave, I really like you and you're a good guy and everything, but you know something? when you get a guy, especially a vice president, who lies and then you can't admit it, or you won't even call him a liar, even if he is a liar, that's pretty bad with you guys. And why? Why would you do that? I can't figure it out.
Well, I can tell you why. First off, I'm not going to allow myself to be backed into a corner without facts. And what I will do is I will go and I will find that clip, and I will look at it.
And will you come back and call him a liar?
I will come back and I'll address your question.
But even if he's a liar, you won't call him a liar?
I will come back and address your question.
Oh, God. You know, that's stuff like this is awful. And this is a problem. This is a problem that the Republicans have. And why this show works between us, quite simply, is he gets me too. I just happen to be piling on him a little bit. Don't worry about it, folks. He's going to come back at me.
This is if I can't deal with this, how on earth could I deal with what the shenanigans that go on up at our clubhouse in Concord?
I know. Oh, you had a committee.
I did.
How does that committee went? Now, tell our listeners, you worked during the summer.
A little bit, yeah.
On a committee.
Yep.
A committee of 3.
A subcommittee.
A subcommittee. A subcommittee.
A subcommittee of a committee, yes.
A subcommittee of a committee.
Right.
All right. What was it about?
We had 2 bills that we had to study over the summer, and what we did was we had a couple of day of hearings and then a day to talk about it and decide them, and we took care of them, and we are making a recommendation to the full Child and Family Law Committee to take one and advance it for future legislation, and then a suggestion on the other that it not be advanced because we don't think it specifically has a great deal of merit.
Okay.
And
so what happened? What did you do? Did you write?
Well, we've written little blurbs, but the real work will come out of the committee. The committee has to decide. We're just kind of doing.
You're the subcommittee. You'll go into the committee.
The committee will make a recommendation.
Will make a recommendation, and somebody will write a bill.
Right, or not, as the case may be. So and so we do stuff over the summer. We do stuff as we need to, and
I mean, we get $100 a year. Oh, by the way, did you know I got a call from the Speaker's office?
Really? And what did the Speaker's office have to say?
Asked me if I wanted to be on a committee.
Really? Which one?
To study the Liquor Commission.
Ooh, you'd be very good at that.
And well, I used to own a bar, and I used to drink. So no, he called me, and they asked if I would want to be on the committee, and I said sure. So there's 3 Democrats and 9 Republicans. And what we're doing is we're studying a lot of things have been taking place that have to be sort of straightened out. So we're getting information from the Attorney General, and it's quite complicated. I will try to unravel it. But here we are. Both of us are trying to run for an office, back for our office, and you're on a committee, and this is a monster. We must have about at least a pound of paper already, and they're going to subpoena people. It's going to be a big deal.
Now,
we've got to do this before the elections.
I've got a question about this. I'm a little bit concerned. Here you are. You're a Democrat.
Yes.
And the Republican Speaker of the House, his office is calling you to invite you to sit on a committee. How? I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty reaching across the aisles and trying to do the right thing, don't you? Don't you think that the Speaker of the House should get kudos for this?
Well, I think the Speaker of the House probably could have used one more Democrat in there, but I was hold on a second.
3 to 9. That's the same ratio of the House.
3 to 9, Democrats, Republicans. But I think this is something that, and I am in Commerce. All right, so which we study banking, insurance, a lot of financial stuff, and also consumer affairs, which has included the Liquor Commission. So I think it's a smart move that I have some knowledge because the Liquor Commission has come before our committee.
So the Speaker demonstrated a good judgment in selecting you because you're knowledgeable. Well, no. Listen, this is serious. I think we're talking about
judgment.
Speaker O'Brien, you've thrown some shots at him before, and that's fine.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. I wish
but
he was a Democrat.
Yeah, but
that's all.
Well,
how
that's
many
interesting.
times,
But
how much
here's
have you
somebody
gotta
somebody who's reaching out to you because he thinks you're the best person for this, and he is saying, Representative Gidge, even though we may disagree tremendously politically, I think that your knowledge and your background is going to help this committee,
All right,
and I want to
okay.
pick you.
And let's get this straight. What he's saying is true. This is nice that he would call. I could have said no, but I said yes. But let's just see how, we know how these committees work. Sometimes you get on these committees and it's just strictly Republicans going to run it and shut up Democrats, at which I won't be on the committee that long. I won't put up with it. Either I'm going to have an input or I'm gone.
But you're willing to approach this with an open mind?
Well, of course I am.
Okay.
This is, first of all, it's $600 million that the
and how much are you getting out of
Commission. Oh yeah, what do we get out of it? We get mileage.
None of this $600 million is going to rub off. Oh, okay.
No, as you know, but it's one of the biggest money maker for the state, and it doesn't make any difference if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You have to take a look at it. It is the golden goose that keeps laying the golden eggs for us. Yes, there are some bumps in the road, as you know, with one of the commissioners, our commissioner. That's changed. Then there seems to be some stuff that's missing and lost. It's not maybe that big of a deal, but I think what the speaker is doing is he's sitting on it. In other words, it's not a witch hunt, in other words. There are some information that we're going to work over and get. It may be a lot less than what everybody thinks. I think that's what everybody's hoping, because this really works well. We do not want to lose our liquor commission the way it is. There's so much money.
Well, isn't there something about $500,000 worth of missing inventory or something like that, or is that,
I don't. I think it was more
300,000 or
100,000. But it's so bizarre. It's hard to explain. You see, a lot of inventory comes in that's just not good, like broken or cracked bottles, etc. Or they have the logo is upside down, or a lot of stuff like that. I never thought of that. A lot of breakage, etc., etc. If that wasn't recorded, that certainly is. At a look, if it's $100 and something thousand and it's a $600 million goose that keeps laying the golden egg, that's nothing. That's really nothing. But up here in New Hampshire, we do count the pennies.
Yeah.
And in commerce with banking and insurance, you can't be a couple dollars over, a couple dollars below. You gotta do it.
But what I hear you saying is, if it's a very, relative to the size of the whole operation, it's hard to get things perfect exactly. And
are you a parakeet? Didn't I just say that?
Well, I'm setting you up for something. I'm doing this for a reason.
I know.
You're giving me an.
Are you setting me up for something?
Well, oh yeah, of course. I always do that.
So what is my answer supposed to be? So
you've already answered the question. What I hear you saying is that, and it appears logical to me that you try to be as close as you can. For example, the state budget.
I know, but you can't. No, wait.
Let me finish.
No, we're talking about one thing. Get over one thing
No,
first.
we're not. We're talking about the same idea. We got the state budget, and I know you've piled on a little bit because
wait.
the budget.
Let's get over the liquor before we go to the state budget.
No, the same idea. The state budget is off by what, 0.1%, which I think is pretty damn close when all is said and done. And you've said, my God, those Republicans up in Concord, they're essentially incompetent. They can't get this right. They're running a deficit, yada, yada, yada. And here the percentage is smaller. The percentage is smaller than that on the Liquor Commission issue.
And I think when you take 10 cents off of a package of cigarettes and lose $20 million over a period of a year is pretty sick. When you fire 5 social workers, we'll go into that again, that cost $441,000, and they proved they saved the state $1.5 million. Let me see, a little over $1 million lost there, 20 million lost here. You know, after $1 million here and $1 million there and 10 and 20, it builds up. So don't say or try to make it sound as if, gee, the Republicans are good people.
Well, yeah, we are. Of
What?
course we are. We're Republicans.
Yeah.
Can you imagine somebody trying to follow the string on the last 2 minutes of this and getting where we are right now?
Well, I think people watch the show probably because they don't know what's going to happen. And the fact is that most people sit down and they have more notes and they know what they're going to talk about. We don't know what we're going to talk about.
No, in fact, my notes, I do my notes now, I'm doing them on a slick board, so I can erase.
All right, because you want to get something in. Okay, let's go to, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to David's notes.
David's notes.
All right.
Here's Dave. First, David's note. Do you know, have you heard of somebody called Sandra Fluke? Does that name ring a bell?
Yes, I have.
Can you give 5 or 10 seconds on who she is?
Yes, Sandra Fluke was an individual who was asked to come before one of the committees of the House, U.S. House of Representatives. She sat down and made some comments. Then people like Rush Limbaugh and a lot of Republicans said, gee whiz, if she's going to have sex, why don't we record it? And they did say that. Why don't we record her having sex? Or if she's going to have sex, why doesn't she pay for her own
birth control? Yeah, I think that you essentially, that's, I would agree with you on that. She was testifying about the potential quote unquote religious exemption for birth control that would allow people who had health plans, they could get a religious exemption from having to pay for birth control.
Where does that stop?
Birth control. No,
that's
hang on for just a second.
Where does that stop?
I'll get there in just a second. The reason I was bringing this up was...
Because if a person's gay, geez, don't have to pay for their insurance.
Well, actually, interesting point.
That's where it goes.
Birth control pills are not just for birth control. They also do other things that are prescribed for other means.
Correct.
The point I was going to make is she was up at the UNH Law School yesterday. And
yes.
I went up and heard her speak.
Yes.
And she was tremendously impressive. And I say this knowing that she is now a volunteer for President Obama. She was low-key, concise, straightforward, and
very articulate.
Very articulate. And aside from the fact that she and I agree on the issue, that it's ridiculous that we're talking about this, I was very impressed by her. And I would recommend
that
people listen to her, yeah. and she doesn't go in for bombast. It's all, these are the facts as I understand it.
And I didn't know where you were going with this, so I jumped on you about somebody saying, well, if she's
going
to have sex, why don't they record it? Why doesn't she put it on the internet?
Didn't Rush Limbaugh call her a whore?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Republicans, and this person not included, of course, at this moment, but this is what Republicans do. And that has to stop.
I think
even Republicans saying that this stuff has got to stop. Oh, I don't have my. I had something else to show you. Remember this gentleman Linehan that I held up something here last week or the week before on my iPad.
You mean this?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no. It's okay.
And what it was a gentleman named Linehan who is working for Ovid LaMontagne, or his sign's there, and it says Linehan, and he had a picture of Obama and also Adolf Hitler. And
oh yeah, I remember that.
They took Obama's face and they moved it around with Photoshop, so it really looked awful. So I wrote him a little note. You know, your boss might think it's a horrible thing to do. Then he has written another one, which I will bring in. I was going to bring it in to show you. His name is Linehan, and this is the truth. This is not, I'm not making it up. I don't even know the person, but it's the little Ovid LaMontagne, which I ought to call the office and say, hey, tell him not to do this. But he had this one of saying that Obama was the individual who is the cause of all abortions in the United States of America because he's a president who believes in the right of a woman's having over her own body.
Yeah.
And that's wrong.
Yeah, that's
sick.
That, yeah, it does. No matter how one feels about this. But you know, you're leading into something that I've been thinking about a lot.
Uh-oh.
Real quick.
Uh-oh.
If one is a strong believer in right to life and a strong opponent of abortions, and if one believes that abortions are murder and in fact infanticide, and that millions of people are being murdered every day, or every year, why aren't people in the streets trying to prevent this?
Well, wait a minute. Let me just you brought something, David. You're getting yourself not only in over your head, but you're.
Am I drowning?
No, you're not drowning. You're not drowning. First of all, it's the law of the land that a woman may have over her own body.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but you've heard about this gentleman Atkin, is it, who said a woman who's getting raped,
Mm-hmm.
her body shuts down so she won't get pregnant.
Yeah, I heard some more
that?
about him yesterday,
All right,
too.
okay. Well, and he had a bill that was very strong. A woman, if she's raped or there's incest, and for no reason, a woman could have an abortion. Even though the woman might die, you got to save the baby, all right? And in fact, having sex that night includes a child, even though the eggs haven't got together. Guess who signed on to that bill?
Who else?
Ryan signed on to it. Yes, it was only him and Ryan. So it's quite amazing how your vice president, and now he says, oh, well, you know, Mitt Romney has a different way of thinking, so whatever the president wants to do. And I'm thinking, this guy made his whole career on that. Hypocrite.
Interesting.
Just
Interesting.
I don't know. I have sympathy for the Republicans. The Democrats have to become we have to have a Democratic president again. And if you don't like him, fine, don't vote. But you can't keep voting for people who lie, people who have money in other countries. Mm-hmm. You can't have a president who has money in 3 places around the world and not as money in the United States. And the reason is he doesn't have to pay taxes on it. Look, he's not doing anything illegal, except it's not ethical to be a president and say that we need jobs, and the fact is his money is being managed in other countries, which is in hiring other people. Mm-hmm. And you just can't do that. I mean, you can, and then what happened to his 2 years of tax things? He hasn't even got 2 years yet. Mm-hmm. They're still working on that.
That's right. He got an extension until October 15th, I think, for 2011.
Gee. Boy, I'll tell you what, if something breaks and they find out that he, got caught not paying his taxes, then what?
I gotta believe that.
Then what happens?
I gotta believe if there's something.
Well, you're gonna vote. Then you're gonna vote for a tax cheat.
Well, I gotta believe if there's something there, I gotta believe it's going to get out before the election. In other words, if there is, I mean, even taxes. When you think about how difficult it is to keep a secret.
I think it's already out now.
Is it really?
I think Harry Reid turned around and said, point blank period, he hasn't paid taxes for 10 years. Now, hypothetically, he has paid taxes, but maybe for 10 years he has not paid taxes on the monies that he took from the United States and put into another country.
You're saying that Harry Reid has said, that's right, Harry Reid did say something like that.
And you want to know something?
But you know what?
I'll bet you what it is.
Harry Reid is making that up out of whole cloth. He doesn't have any source for it.
Excuse me.
He doesn't.
Excuse me. You just said that you really can't keep a good secret, all right? Well, Harry Reid turned around and said that he hasn't paid taxes for 10 years, and I know for a fact, but I can't give you my sources. I have a feeling that what Harry Reid said is he hasn't paid taxes on monies for 10 years. And I think that's exactly what he said. We know he's paid taxes.
This is, I'm surprised at you. I could sit here and say, well, I know that Ken Gidge is a communist. I know that Ken Gidge is a communist, but I can't tell you my source. I mean, that's, talk about the height of hypocrisy.
Height of hypocrisy.
The height of, yes, can you say it again? The height of hypocrisy.
We are sitting here. We're doing a TV show and we're talking about politics.
Height
and your
of hypocrisy.
Can't even give 2 years of his taxes when it was his father who said and gave 12 years of his taxes when he ran for the presidency. Mitt Romney gave 22 years of his taxes when he was considered to be vice president under the other gentleman there.
Which gentleman?
Well, I don't want to. I got another story about him.
Right.
So.
Well, no, wait a minute. So are you saying that Mitt Romney released his tax returns when he was being chosen? Wait a minute. When he was being looked at for vice president?
It was 22 years.
All right. So in other words, most of the tax returns we're talking about have already been released.
Yes. No.
Yeah, you just said that.
It was released to the potential president. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm really mad at him. At this point, the man who spent 4 years in the Hanoi Hotel, etc. You know who I'm talking about, correct?
No.
You don't? All right. Well, anyway, he wanted...
Oh, you mean John McCain?
Yes. His great choice after Mitt Romney showed him his taxes ended up to be Sarah Palin.
So in other words...
Excuse me.
You're saying that
Romney, Sarah Palin, which one would you choose?
You're saying that...
Which one would you choose?
You're saying that, well, the lady
Romney.
The lady or the tiger. Romney, of course.
Romney, of course.
What you're saying is that John McCain or his staff has seen most of these tax returns. Yeah. All right. Why didn't somebody ask John McCain? Has anybody asked him?
Oh, well, John McCain said there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
But he chose Sarah Palin, so is there something wrong with him?
With John McCain?
And by the way, there is something wrong with John McCain. I'm sorry to say it. I really love the guy, and I don't like people criticizing him, especially these jerks, the Bush people who came out and said he wasn't a good soldier. He spent 4 years.
Crap.
All right, that's crap. All right, but last night he spoke about how we've got to take care of Syria, how we've got to take care of Iran, how we've got to go back and we've got to make sure Iraq is in the right place. Look, we don't need any more wars. We've got to get away from this.
I agree.
And when you hear people talking about Syria, just in case people don't know, the best friends of Syria is China and Russia, okay? We really don't think going in there in a no-fly zone over that Syria is going to please the Russians or the Chinese. So, Mr. McCain, sit down.
Yeah. No, we have a habit, and this goes Republicans and Democrats. We have a habit of feeling as though we have to exert our will in places where we really don't have to exert our will, where it's better if we don't exert our will.
I think we've got to stop with this fighting, but I'll tell you what, we are going to take a short break, and we're going to come back probably in about a couple of minutes. That is David Robbins, and he is a Republican. I am Ken Gidge, the good guy. Of course, no mustache and my hair. Okay, face for radio, Ken Gidge.
Thanks.
We'll be back in a moment. This is Ken Gidge, and we're back. This is the Art of Politics. I am the Democrat, and he is the Republican.
I am. I'm Dave Robbins. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming back. I hope everybody had a good stop when they went to the fridge and you know, the restroom or whatever you needed to do to let the dog out, let the dog in, whatever. Welcome back. We're glad to see you.
You know, you can't have these entrances kind of shot. You don't have to tell them that, you know, you went to the bathroom and hope you enjoyed yourself. I mean, you could just say, hi, you're back.
Well, no, I'm welcoming people back from the things that people do when the shows break.
I got that, but you can do a little.
Well, you know, I'm a chatty kind of guy. Hey, speaking of that, I want to tell you about something.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you know that September 16th, which is a couple of weeks?
Yes.
There is going to be a gay and lesbian wedding expo at the Radisson.
Really?
Are
you planning on going?
Yes, I am. In fact, I sent them an email message. And what I said, I'm a justice of the peace.
You're a justice of the peace?
I'm a JP. I didn't know if you know that. I'm also a notary.
Okay.
Okay, but a JP. And what I said was, I sent the organizers a message and I said, this is great. And in fact, the Radisson is in my current district. It won't be when redistricting happens, but I represent that ward now.
Okay.
I said, I would be pleased and honored to perform weddings for people who attend free of charge.
So you're willing to
Not
marry
a
gay
question.
people?
Oh, absolutely. Not a question of willing to.
And why are you so adamant about this? I mean, you're saying I'll do it for free. I mean, why?
Well, Ken, I'd probably marry you for free too. If you and Lee want to get married, let me know and I'll
oh, here we go.
do
This ain't good. Okay.
No, I would like to. I'd like to use just the same way, service. I'd like to be able to provide a service. I know that still there are sometimes there are glitches in these sorts of things.
What you're saying is that you believe that everyone has a right, man, woman, man, have the right, if they love each other, to be married, and you, as an honorable individual, can marry people, and you will for nothing.
Yep. And
I think that's very honorable.
That's right. Well, until I build up my clientele and I can start charging $200-300 a wedding. Oh, wait a minute. This is television.
All right,
I just said that on here, didn't I?
Okay, no, you can't. You can't. All right, you have a list of things. I'm not all talked out. But.
Yeah. Well, no, there was a, the Nashua Telegraph, our favorite newspaper.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna go into a whole rant about censorship in the Telegraph because I've done that before. But I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
They have a PolitiFact feature where they look at claims by candidates and decide, it's true, it's false, it's partially true. Governor Romney, apparently a couple of weeks ago or less, said that over 50% of the recent college graduates in this state or actually nationally, were underemployed or unemployed. And PolitiFact said, gee, that sounds awfully high. They checked it out. It was, in fact, true. It's 53% of recent college graduates. That's the highest figure in 11 years, since 2000.
And if you Republicans wouldn't have crashed this economy so bad, if you Republicans stopped, taking the laws and rules away, we could have caught some of this. If you Republicans let everything go during 8 years of the Bush administration, this wouldn't take place. But did you bring it up to make the point that Obama is now president and maybe we need a change to do it better?
I brought it up because I was doing a whole lot of reading about New Hampshire colleges and how people were lamenting the fact that New Hampshire seems to be defunding education. And I think it's something seriously to look at.
We are the highest state in the United States for in-state college, and that is a shame.
You mean in-state tuition?
In-state tuition. We're the highest in the United States. That is not something we should be proud of.
Why do you think that is? Well,
again, how much money? $100 million was cut last year from the college fund here in the state of New Hampshire. $100 million.
Significant. I don't know whether it was 50 or 100. Significant.
Well,
amounts.
I mean, so you guys can't. You can't have everything. You want people educated, but you won't let the colleges stop raising. Like the college president or chancellor just said, if they can give us back some, we won't raise money just to stay alive. So, and they would like to, and it's gone up 22 years in a row or something like that. Mm-hmm. My son, when he went, it was like probably $18,000 a year, maybe a little less. That's with everything, in food also, okay.
Right, what
is it now, 25?
What incentive does the state university system have to become more efficient?
You're under the impression that they're not efficient. And it's people who keep making statements like that without taking a good look at it. In fact, if you take a look at the housing up there for the students coming in, it's awful. My son was in a 2-room, well, I'll call it 3-room, with 4 people, where you really only could have had maybe 3 tops. I mean, it's awful up there for the people coming in. They're making every effort. I don't know how we can give them more money, but you got to start, if you want to put things together, you've got to educate people. You have to educate the community also, the educating people. You got to educate people like we need rail here in this state. Why people say we don't is really kind of dumb.
Well, I'm not trying to do this to do a gotcha or hit you over the head or anything. These are issues that genuinely I'm interested in exploring, and I'll just give you a for instance. One of the things that I find a little bit strange is I go to apply to a college. Doesn't matter what shut up and keep going.
No. Talk a little faster.
Talk a little faster.
No.
Doesn't matter what I'm applying for.
You go like this. It's like someone called you Abraham Lincoln.
Well, I'm professorial.
You go like this, and you go like this, and for God's sakes, I mean, I could eat a piece of pie by the time you start the. All right, go ahead.
I'm professorial.
All right,
which is appropriate for this.
All right, okay. Well, I know, but
all right,
speed it up a little.
Go to college. Apply to college. Doesn't matter what you're applying for. Tuition's the same. Right?
What?
Doesn't matter what program you want to get into, the tuition's the same. What about, why not take things that cost less and charge less for the tuition for that program?
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. That's an interesting point, but I think that they may be doing exactly that. I think people who are in the engineering aspect or I don't know, that they need equipment more so than just education. I mean, I'm sure they charge more.
Well, I think that they charge more for things like lab fees and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
but
what
not,
I meant,
but not the basic tuition. Second thing is, why don't we pay people to teach as opposed to paying people for their quote-unquote scholarship? Why don't we pay people who can actually, their primary job is to be in the classroom and take a body of information and present it in a coherent way? We need scholars. We absolutely need scholars, but we also need people who know how to teach. And in some cases, I'm almost through. My father was a professor. He was head of the Department of Political Science at Tufts. I do have some experience with college situations.
Okay.
Some of the best scholars can't do diddly squat as far as teaching is concerned.
Correct.
And they get paid a lot of money.
Well, they also do a lot of things. For instance, we talk about money. Any place that had Albert Einstein hanging around on a campus, really doing nothing other than being Albert Einstein, got a lot of money from the people who had gone to the college, all right, and people who want to go to the college and people who want to hang out with old Albert at that time. So your father might have been a drawer in himself by being very smart. You have to bring educated people in. Well, a lot of these people don't. A lot of them do research, which is pretty useless. A lot of them write, which is, in a sense, pretty useless. Some people think, I don't think so. But, you know, the colleges have been around a long time. And I think here in New Hampshire, we kind of already know where the fat is. And I think we can't take too much more away from the university. They can't keep raising money for kids coming in. We've got to do something. And we just got to stop. Either you want the people who live here in the state of New Hampshire to be able to go to school here in the state of New Hampshire. If it costs as much to go to school here in New Hampshire, but you can go to a Boston school or a school that has a different campus, a warmer campus, a different climate, different aspects of the college, we're going to lose people. And the whole idea of not only colleges here is to keep the people who come up here.
Well,
because this is a great place to live.
You made a good point. For example, 50% of the New Hampshire young people go out of state for college, who go to college. We have 91% of the high school students in New Hampshire earn diplomas, but only 22% of native-born New Hampshire students get bachelor's degrees. We have a third of our population of adults 25 and over has a bachelor's degree, but that's because out-of-state people come in and foreign-born come in, and that's what raises that. So I don't dispute at all that there are really significant issues around the New Hampshire college and university system, and I'm not saying that I have the answer to this, but you and I are engaging in a dialogue over this, and we're actually doing this nicely. We're not screwing around.
Yeah, but we're in a city, the second largest city in the state of New Hampshire, and we lost people in the last 10 years. You got to ask why.
Boston's been losing people for 50 years.
You have to ask why this is happening. We are not providing enough here in the state of New Hampshire to keep people here in the state of New Hampshire. We're really not. And we're losing a lot of good minds to taking off.
You know, I'm not sure that you can use that one bit of data to make that.
Losing people.
Well, look at this. Okay, what's one of the highest gaining states? Nevada. People. Why are people? Yeah, no, it is.
I don't know. Well, first of all, one of the reasons people go to places like that is because they're sick of the snow.
Okay.
And as you get older, you had enough.
All right.
In our lifetimes, we probably have had 500 feet of snow. Think about it.
Well, I'm much younger than you are, so I've only had 300 feet.
Yeah, well, you're much younger. Okay, go ahead. You got some more things on your list?
Yeah, well, that's the point. The point is that I think that we can't just come at this educational issue from one direction. I agree with you. There are concerns. I don't want to cut for the sake of cutting. I don't want to fund for the sake of funding.
But that's what your party has been doing, is cutting for the sake of cutting. You and I are on, I would say you and I are on an exclusive board. And that is, we're on the Hillsborough County Executive Committee. Mm-hmm. The two of us are. Mm-hmm. That's kind of really an exclusive club to get into, A, and B, you really see what's going on.
At the county level, yes.
At the county level. Well, our budget at the county is what, $85 million. And I got news for you. There was, and someone's going to get caught on this, there was in the newspaper about, and we've talked about it, and I fought for it, Meals on Wheels, mm-hmm. money for Meals on Wheels. And there was an article, someone misquoted the person who wrote the article, believed this person who made this assumption, and it was a $10,000 differential less for Meals on Wheels, and there was a surplus, which he was not told. So we're kind of in an exclusive club, and so we kind of know where every dollar is going for us here.
Ken, what does that have to do with the University of New Hampshire?
Well, what you're asking is, how do we do something? How do we do something better at the university level? And I brought up the fact that you and I are in a club that does line by line, dollar by dollar.
Okay.
Okay, so is that what you suggest that they do at the college level? Are they not doing this at the college level? You've come up with some suggestions. Do you have some ideas?
Yeah, I do.
Is there a reason?
Yep, I do.
All right, I got an idea. How are you going to make it better?
First thing to do is to say, listen, no more. Second thing to do
no more what?
No more money.
No more money for who?
No more money, no more additional money for the state of New Hampshire university system.
Oh, excuse me.
That's
the problem.
Ken,
they don't have enough money.
Ken,
and you're saying no more money to the college? No more money.
Can I finish for
a second? They just lost $100 million last year, and he doesn't want to give them any more money.
Can I finish for a second?
Almost. We've got a minute left.
Thank you very much. The second thing is to say, before we provide further funds, let's see how we can use these most effectively. What are the best practices around the country?
David, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're going to have to really get out of this, but this is another, you're so far off on this one. You're under the impression that this is not being done. You can't take $100 million away from a university and say, we're not going to give them any more money. You can't do it. My name is Ken Gidge. You can get me at KGIDGE. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the place. I also do a radio show, a TV show. I'm not sure what I do. I'm all over with my mustache and my face for radio. And David, you got 30 seconds.
I'm Dave Robbins. You can, where are we here? I'm Dave Robbins. You can reach me at 978-500-9475. And David S. Robbins at Comcast.net. And I have the last word, and the word is, the last 15 minutes, who's the more reasonable person here? Who's the person who wants to reach across the aisle? Who's the person would you rather have be your state representative? Dave Robbins, the good guy, or the other guy? Ken, good night. Good to talk with you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
The last word, he's got it.